Hello there, I am your MPD gamer, and welcome to another mildly pointless diatribe. I know, funny. Welcome back to LEGO Star Wars, and it's time to retake 3. It's a bit of a long one, I have to say. Probably the longest one in the entire, or definitely in episode 1. I can't remember if it's quite the longest one in the entire saga, but it's close. Just so you know, I'm very much glad that some of you have been sticking with me the whole way through. So thank you very much. Your support is much appreciated. Whilst I'm really doing this for myself and not for the sake of pleasing other people, it's nice to know that I've actually managed to do so. Especially since I do struggle so very often to manage that on quite a lot of occasions with quite a lot of different things, really. Back with the Jedi. I do love being a Jedi in these games. It's just so much easier, I have to say. But these destroyer droids are absolute bastard. I do hate them. Purely because they take so long to actually... If you're getting bombarded by blaster bolts, it's so hard to actually get any of them to... it's so hard to get the opportunity to actually take down the shields. And if you're just deflecting their blaster bolts at them, it takes a while. And then when you're trying to be all smart and fancy, and one bastard droid won't shoot back at you, it's really annoying. Little word of advice for anyone playing any LEGO game, really. If you're stuck for ideas, interact with everything you can and destroy everything you can. Because not only will it gain you a shite load of studs, you can also find out what you're supposed to be doing by doing so. Which, in my opinion, is actually a hell of a lot more reliable than running around thinking about it. For example, on the Star Wars ones, if you can't find something which you can access, switch to another character. And if there's something that's glowing with the Force, always interact with it, because then you can open up new areas, find out exactly what you're supposed to be doing. It's great. It's another reason why I love the Jedi in these games. They're so much more versatile than the blaster characters, especially when you get the Force grapple ability. It's so handy. You can get anywhere you want to, just with the Jedi. And of course, more blaster wielding droids. These motherfuckers are just everywhere in this game. It is a problem, but it's not a desperate one. It's the kind of thing which will kill you by sheer force of numbers. And really only then. I remember when I first did this, but it stumped me for fucking ages. Because I had no idea where everything was, where anything was. And this is a prime example of destroy everything and you find out what you need to do next. As you can see, got a little droid panel. I'll tell you where to go. There you are, you bastard. That's it. Even though this game is ridiculously old, I still think it's got huge amounts of replay value, both to try and collect all the items, all the studs, all the mini-kits, and all the power-ups, but also because it's just fun. There's only one level on this entire game that I've ever found myself getting a little bit bored with, and that's the Endor mission in episode 6. That one I think is probably the longest one in the saga, and it just dragged so much. It's a good level, don't get me wrong, but it's just... I just got tired of it. I found myself getting so tired of it every time. And I shouldn't, because it's a great level, it's great fun. It's actually quite a challenge. But we'll get to that later. Yeah, one thing that you probably will have noticed by now. When I'm a Jedi character, I do spend a lot of time jumping around, but that's mainly because it's actually a little bit faster than just walking. I don't know why, it just seems faster. Also, I'm a little jealous of their acrobat capability. I mean, they're making Lego pieces, but so I shouldn't be. And they're computer generated and computer controlled, really, but still, I wish I was that acrobatic. Although, if wishes were fishes, there'd be no room in the ocean for water. Another thing which you probably ought to remember if you're playing a Lego game: explore everywhere you can. Because there's, especially in the little nooks and crannies in the corner, the camera can't quite get to. Because there's so many blue studs, especially, which are worth 1,000, which are quite useful. Just tucked just out of sight. And if you get them, it usually bumps you up by about 5 or 10% on the 100% studs meter, which is always handy. This bit is another prime example of if the character you're using can't get anywhere, try someone else. Because whilst Anakin Skywalker, the boy minifigure that they've got here, isn't actually a small one, he can get into small apertures, which doesn't make sense because he's exactly the same dimensions as the rest of the characters. He's exactly the same as the other characters, so it doesn't make any sense that he can fit in the smaller portals, but the others can't. It never made sense to me, and it really annoyed me, but, you know, gameplay mechanics and all that. Another reason why I tend to spend a lot of time flipping around as a Jedi is because it opens you up for, well, that slightly ranged attack for a Jedi, and it's actually quite fun. Just watching, even though it's a Lego Jedi, just watching the character just soar through the air at an enemy. I don't know why, but I just find it funny. And if you get the button presses right, it enables you to do that. Block a blaster bolt at the same time. And then you've got two enemies down in the space of about 2 seconds. If you know what you're doing. Admittedly, usually I don't, but the point still applies, it's still pretty awesome. This was one that I always ended up having difficulty with when I was working co-op with my little brother. We'd never get our timings right, and I'd always end up missing him and he'd miss me, and then jumping off at the end always fecked us over. Well, that could be because both of us were children and we're fucking stupid, but I don't know. It got a little annoying after a while, and that's why I don't play Lego games co-op anymore. I really should, but I just never get around to it. It's too much hassle, everyone just gets in the way. It always pisses me off a little bit. Nah, well, fuck it. I suppose I can manage, at least I can try sometimes. Doesn't happen often though. It's not really something I'm good at, it's not my forte, but yeah, could be worse, I guess. Sort of. Might explain why I'm so hopeless with people, and women in particular. Ah well, I know I'm a sad ass. I'm used to it. This part of it actually used to confuse me. Like, I know it's hard to believe, but it took me a long time to actually figure out where to go and which door opened what. I remember opening this door and really getting pissed off. Just fucking destroyer droids. Absolute bastards. Especially when you're a kid and you don't know how to deal with them. And Jesus, I'll quite happily admit it, I was fucking useless when I was a kid. Completely fucking useless. But there's an advantage to checking every door. You get to find as many little studs as you can find, and you usually find a few secrets. Mini kits, power-ups. They're actually quite useful. Mostly. The hanger. This one got a little annoying for me, because it's arbitrary collection, and that middle one there, the one that's one droid with two prisoners, that one pissed me off a lot more than it should, because I couldn't get up. I couldn't get up there first few times. It doesn't make sense, I know, but yeah, I don't make sense. It just took me far too long, much longer than it should have done, and it pissed me off in the process. I was very easily annoyed by games. Still am, to be honest. Oh well, shit happens. Yeah, another thing you ought to do when you're doing a LEGO game, especially LEGO Star Wars, is always use the Force with everything you can find, because you can always find something new in the process, and it usually opens up little areas as well. It's absolutely hilarious when you can when you can find the right places and get around. It's quite satisfying, especially if you've been on a mission with an 11, which is literally just blaster characters and so much force wielding that can be done. That's what free play's for, which is it's just going through the levels again and finding all this stuff. But it's actually quite satisfying, because some of the bastards are really in out of the way places. And lo and behold, more bastard droids. And behind the door there are more! I was expecting. This is why I hate destroyers. Because that. Unless you get the shield down really quickly at the start, you end up dying at least. Most of the time you'll die. And it's just fucking annoying. Well, could be worse, I guess. Kind of. It's not like I had no studs to lose. And one last little bit. That's I used to believe that R2 actually moves faster than the rest of the characters, but I don't think so. I don't think there's actually any difference in speed. And fuck yes, that destroyer droids. Right, well, that's that. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next week maybe. I'm actually quite surprised that was the first mission I had R2 in. I didn't realise. But as I was saying, thank you for joining me. I will see you all again probably next week, maybe beforehand. It's up to you. Please like, comment, any comments you want to provide, by all means. I'm happy to take them. Thank you. Bye bye.